staff, you'll receive certificates that will attest to the fact that you have gotten these new skills and can demonstrate them. Purdue will stand behind that, and Simplilearn will stand behind that. And for some of the skills, IBM will stand behind that because this program is got content and instruction modules from IBM as well. Over the course of the 8 months, you'll be doing more than 14 different projects and labs. We'll make available master classes from Purdue instructors and faculty, from IBM instructors. You'll have access to hackathons and AMA sessions. Capstone project, which we'll cover in more detail, allows you to create a experience example that you can take with you to show off all of the skills you've gained in the program. And then Simplilearn also provides a job assistance program. You'll have access to the Purdue Alumni Association as well. So for career care and feeding after the program capstone project, we have services available for that as well. We talk about Purdue University. Purdue University, established over 150 years ago. It's one of the first land grant universities where American states decided that they to make available higher education opportunities for their citizens. This is the first one in Indiana, I believe, but it has gained an international reputation as one of the leading public universities in the United States, and it's produced Nobel Prize winners and winners of other academic prizes. So it's recognized worldwide, and it's definitely got a reputation that will gain attention if you have that phrase Purdue University on your CV or resume. We also, as I mentioned, incorporated IBM into this program so that there are some courses that are actually IBM curriculum taught in a standard way, and you get, therefore, the completion certificates from IBM for those particular parts of the program, which are over and above the certificates issued by Simplilearn and Purdue, plus the access to the Ask Me Anything sessions, to the hackathons, and the master classes from IBM people. So this is really good exposure into folks from industry. Now, I'll mention the Career Assist service, which is available. I know we have a worldwide audience with a number of different countries, as I mentioned just before we started. You were all generous to share where you're from. This is available specifically in India and the United States. So I apologize for not being available in other countries at present, but this part of the program extends for 6 months after you earn your certificate, and it's meant to help you in your job search. It's not a placement service or job guarantee service, but it's a set of services that will help you focus your job search and sharpen your skills so that you increase your chances of finding employment. And it includes webinars that Simplilearn runs on a regular basis for career development. It includes the projects that you do in the program that become your portfolio of real-world experience to show off during your job interviews. And it includes some formal job assist services in the U.S. through Talent Inc. and in India through IIM Jobs. Pardon me. One of the components is the job portal. In each of those regions, you have access to an exclusive job portal, Resume Rabbit in the US, IIM Jobs in India. That allows you to search their employer networks, do the job search in a discreet and private way so that your resume isn't exposed on Dice or Indeed or that type of thing if you want to do your job search in a private manner. The other two components of the services available in both of those regions is the resume review and rewrite, which is extremely important in today's day and age. your resume goes to an automated tracking system and an AI bot before it ever goes to a human being. So having a resume that's written in a way that the bot can understand content, your experience, your skills, and match them with the job requirements, a job description, very important because you want the process to filter you into the job search and not out of it. Um, Once you get filtered through that first step, your resume still has to be appealing to the human eye because it will land on someone's desk or screen. And so being able to create a resume that satisfies both the AI requirement, the human appeal requirement is a kind of art form that this will help with. You'll have a professional writer helping you craft your resume in that way. You'll also have the interview service. And what this will do is give you live practice with a human interview practice partner who will help you through the different styles of interviews because, as you probably are aware, in any job search, you have to go through several different layers of interviews, starting from the phone screen with a HR person or recruiter to the technical interview with your potential peers and supervisor, who will be very interested in your technical skills and your ability to do the work, and then to the management compatibility interview, where people will be concerned with your fit with corporate culture, your work ethic, and um, your ability to be a good team player and good teammate. So each of those resumes has a different flavor. Each of them requires a little bit of different skill set from you, and being able to practice each of those is a really valuable service. I mentioned we have a set of um, webinars that we do on an ongoing basis. Some of them include 1 hour short lessons drawn from our different programs in different skill areas, overviews of the technology sector. So, for example, you might see one on what data analytics trends are coming in the coming year. You might hear about new technologies, see some that are about how to do your job search and how to organize short lessons and prepare for drawn from our and then others on programs, soft skills in different skill areas, make overviews of the your career flow, better technology sector. So all of those are free. They're available to you definitely on a lifelong basis. So that's part of the service. And at this point, I'd like to ask a question of the audience. This is about eligibility and prerequisites. You do have to have a bachelor's degree, discipline. It can be any liberal arts, technical, engineering, any discipline, but you must have 50% marks, which is, I believe, a GPA of 2.0 or better. And you need to come you don't need to come from any particular background. You can have programming experience, but if you don't, that's fine. You also don't have to have work experience, although it's always helpful. It is not mandatory for this program. So the question I have for you is how much experience do you have? This would be experience in the formal workplace, regardless of the field or the type of work. I'll leave this open for another 10 seconds. Close this in 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll share the results. About a quarter of our audience are folks who are still working on their degrees, and then the rest of you have varying levels of experience, including a third of the audience, which has more than 5 years of experience. So this is a program that will be suitable for pretty much the bulk of our audience. Let me now move on to how this program prepares you, and we'll discuss the curriculum before Amitendra shares with you a demonstration of how the learning environment works. So, Amitendra, if you are ready, I'd like you to maybe jump in as I'm going through this curriculum. Correct me if I'm dealing with anything that's It should.
Sure.
Okay. In the induction session is the first module that teaches people how to use the learning management system, introduces them to the overall curriculum, where you'll find your resources, how you'll get enrolled in each class, how you get into your live classes, so you find recorded information and other tools, how to use the programming labs and all of the things that you might have in a freshman orientation type of class. Once you finish that, you can move into your first formal classes, which the module is Analytics Foundation. What is data analytics? What are the basic principles that lie underneath it? And from that, you can then move into programming, including Python programming training. IBM provides part of this training. This gives you the background in programming if you hadn't come in with it already, and it relates it to data analytics specifically. You move into R programming next, R being a language that is designed for data science and data manipulation. And once you have that foundation of the programming skills in R, you'll move into applying those in data science. Then last module before the capstone project is using Tableau for visualization, for communicating your insights in a way that's accessible to lay people and managers and end users. And then the last module is a capstone project, which we'll describe a little bit more detail, but it's a 3 to 4 week effort where you pick a challenge and then you develop your solution to that challenge under the mentorship of an instructor. And that becomes not only the basis for evaluating your success in the program, but also a piece of practical experience that you can take with you and show off potential employers. And along the way, you can take any or all of the electives. You can take a module on Power BI, which is another tool from Microsoft. You can move go into the introduction to artificial intelligence if you want to go deeper toward the data science areas and find out about some of the new technologies that are important in analytics. And you can take the master classes from both Purdue instructors as well as from IBM. So the electives are all at no extra cost. They're available to you based on your time availability and your level of interest. So you can take as many or as few as you like. Core courses in the staircase there are the ones that you have to complete to get your certificate. Is there anything, Amitendra, that I missed here?
Not really, Stuart. You covered everything in detail.
Okay. And maybe you can tell us about how the various tools here get used in the courses, so that people can end up with demonstrable experience with them.
Sure. So the entire field where data science or data analytics that we have been talking about, we're discussing about handling data, managing it, and then analyzing it. So when you talk about tools, so these tools, be it Python, be it R, they come with tons of libraries that needs to be understood before you can analyze the data with them. So what we cover here is we start with the very basics of any of the platform you talk about, be it Python, be it R, or even for that matter, Tableau or Power BI that we are dealing for business intelligence. So these tools will be taught from very basics, and then we will build up on that. And these libraries which have been mentioned over here, say Pandas, which is an excellent library for data manipulation, which is a must-have library when you talk about Python, will be dealt in detail. We'll also discuss about NumPy, which is for numerical Python. So when you want to analyze some data, aggregate it or transform it, you can think of NumPy. SciPy is for scientific computation. So in some of the areas, you might have very specific requirements. You might be working with some signal data, so signal processing you want to do, or probably you have some really detailed statistical analysis required. So SciPy comes very handy. Similarly, for machine learning, you have scikit-learn, sklearn as a library. So these are the libraries that you have to learn. These are the tools that you should know for sure. And we are actually bundling them into a single unit, and we are teaching you that. We are starting from basics of Python, moving to pandas, NumPy. Same thing goes for R as well. And when we talk about business intelligence, which comes from that's where we talk about descriptive analytics, or probably even when you have done some predictions or you have done some analysis you want to present to the end user. So you want to use some Power BI or some Tableau on that. So that's where we are dealing with that as well. And Excel is something which is an excellent tool in terms of working with the data to start with. So we are touching base with that as well. So these are the libraries, these are the tools, these are the platforms you will be learning at this particular program. And we have kept in mind the entire project life cycle of data science or data analytics, how it moves. Keeping that in mind, we have incorporated these tools and libraries.
Thank you, Amitendra. Yeah, one thing to also know about this is that these will be used in the different projects that you'll be doing. So you won't only get an academic overview of what tool is and what the instructions are for using it, but you'll be required to use them in your projects, and therefore at the end of the program you will be able to claim expertise and skill in each of these areas. Before we go to the live demo, I just want to say one more thing about the capstone. We talk about choosing a problem. You get to choose a problem that's aligned to or posed as the kind of problem that somebody would give to you in your job as a data analyst. And you design and implement your solution. Again, turn to your instructor to make sure that you're not following any rabbit holes or dead ends, but you are the one responsible for doing the project. It'll be judged on your accomplishment. So it's something that you can show off as your practical experience. So now I'm going to ask Amitendra to share his screen and take us through a tour of the learning management system. He'll be using a different program from Purdue to illustrate this, but the methods and the use of the system are identical. Amitendra, if you would.
Sure. So this is how our LMS look like once you log into your system. And once you log in, you get your course listed. And the course that you're talking about is data analytics. So that will be listed, and you have an option of going to your program. So click on that, and it moves to the courses that are part of your program. So you'll have starting from induction and then going to fundamentals of programming and all. And then any course that we are talking about, which is part of your entire curriculum, like if I say for suppose I move to one of the program. So here is the thing that we have done for you. We have curated everything at one place, in a sense that we have a learning track over here, which will help you with all the topics that will be covered. And you get videos over there, which is for your self-learning if you want. And over here itself, you get live classes option if you see here. So once you log in, you have an option of finishing some of the self-learning video so that you can gain some understanding before going to the live class. Then you have an option of over here itself, click on this and you can join the live class whenever it is scheduled. You also get over here a practice lab. So once you click on the practice lab, a lab will be started for you where you can do all the assignments, or you can do the practice along with the trainer. Like in the live classes, when we talk about, we explain you a concept, and after explaining a concept, we give you a problem statement that this is the data which has been given to us, and this is the problem statement, and let's solve it together. So when trainer is teaching you any concept, they will provide you some data to implement that concept and then gain some understanding out of the data, or probably sometimes do some predictive models. All that you will be simultaneously doing with the trainer. And not only that, once we have finished the entire assignment or an entire practice which is there, if you want, then trainer can share their notebook also with you. That option is also provided. Then over here, you see you have an option of reference material at the same place. You can download all the PPTs or any study material that trainer is using. You can also download from here. And also in a classroom, every section will have a hands-on exercise. It could be an exercise, it could be a small assessment, or I won't say assessment, it could be a case study that you're solving. So all that data set you can download in advance, keep it with you. And this data set is actually given module wise. It will say lesson 1, these are the data set we'll be using. Lesson 2, these are the ones that we'll be using. So you can download that entirely and keep it with you. Every section of the course which is there will have its own case study that you need to solve to gain understanding what you have learned in the classroom. And then end of the entire section that we are teaching, the entire course, you will have assessment. This is an individual assessment for that particular course that we are talking about, which is part of the curriculum. So you might have 5-6 courses part of your curriculum. Each one will have their own assessment. So when you go to assessment over here, you will have a couple of case study here, which you need to solve in your lab, and then you need to submit. You will also have a test. And then once you finish your assessment and finish your test, your certificate will be unlocked over here. In addition to that, you also have this option of connecting to your peers through a community that we provide. And every batch will have a different community link. So you can interact with each other. You can interact with the trainers over there. And then you can create your own notes also if you want while doing the session virtually, like a notepad. And if suppose you get stuck somewhere, some problem you are facing, probably with the lab, or you are having some technical issues, we have a help option available over here. Just raise a ticket and help will be on its way. So that's what we are getting over here. Bear in mind, all these programs that we are talking about over here will be entirely hands-on. So not only the trainers will teach you the concept, they will tell you what's the mathematical intuition behind the concept, and then eventually how Python or how R is coming into the picture to implement that concept on the data. And that would be done in practice lab. So at one place, you get everything. You don't have to actually switch to some other platform, in a sense that you might have your assessment tab over here, but the lab is somewhere else. It doesn't happen that way. In a single place, you will have everything incorporated and you can start working on it. Also, if you don't want to install anything on your system, that's perfectly fine, because we are giving you a virtual lab. So this is how the lab works. And Stuart, if you want to add something over here, feel free to do that.
If you would take us back to the home screen that shows the overall curriculum, there you go, yeah. And explain how somebody can keep track of their progress through the program this way.
Sure. So what happens over here, the good thing is that the entire program curriculum will be listed over here. Like this program talks about, the first section is course 1 is that it will be just an induction program. Then you have course 2, which is Python for data science. And if you see here, it shows that I have completed the first 100%, but the second one stands at 11%. So it also gives you understanding where do you stand in terms of the entire program. And it will give you this tracking part over here. And as we progress, each one will be completed in detail. So you'll have your live classes, some self-learning videos, you'll have your labs, and each course that we talk about, as I mentioned, will have its own assessment. Once you finish that, once you unlock your certificate, you can move to the next one. And then same procedure will follow there as well. And this is how the entire program, this particular program is, which is starting from Python for data science and then going till your last capstone that we are talking about. That's how it moves. Actually helps you in terms of understanding that where do you stand in the entire program, what all has been covered and what is pending, and also gives you understanding that what will be the next course, so you will be ready for that. So this is how it comes.
Much for that, and thank you for that overview. So I'll move back onto the other process here. You got to look at how to manage your curriculum and do the live classes, do the tests and assessments and projects, including the capstone project as the last course in your series, keeping track of your progress, unlocking the certificates along the way, and the support tools. All of that is on that one platform. Now, again, this is a Purdue University program, so Dr. Wolf does the overview of the or oversight of the curriculum and the delivery, and he keeps Simplilearn accountable for delivering this program to Purdue University's standards. So this is why the certificate comes from Purdue University. I'm going to share with you the upskilling journey of one of our people who completed this, and the program was called postgraduate program back then. It's professional certificate program now. Same curriculum.
I had a roller coaster life, switching jobs, businesses, and pandemic was of no excuse for me. But after finishing my course last year and making myself a new career in data analytics, getting myself a new job, I really felt calm and which I'm grateful for. Last 2 years was very tough for me, just like many of us. But I've decided to utilize the time in a productive way. And what can be more productive than self-improvement and learning? Hi, this is Asfar and I live in Chennai. I'm an aeronautical engineer by education, but a data analyst by profession. I did a postgraduate program in data analytics from Simplilearn with Purdue University. After finishing my course within 2 months, I got placed as a data analyst with Oxford International. While I took this course in order to improve my business and trading skills, my journey took a turn completely after completing this course. After graduating in 2017, I moved to a non-technical role with Jet Airways as an aviation security officer. Then I started my clothing business in 2019, but again I was hit in a roadblock. After my clothing business went to a downhill during the pandemic, I started a new business on construction materials where I got the chance to work with multiple clients all over India. And that is where I have realized that data is very much essential for business. After comparing the course with other platforms, I felt that the course offered by Simplilearn has got the best content. After reading all the reviews and videos from other learners, which gave me the confidence to actually apply for it. As I was new to data analysis, the trainers were helping me to understand various topics. Along with the self-paced recorded videos were of great help in clearing all my doubts. I always had a keen interest in share market and crypto trading. To understand this better, I wanted to study Python and to better my analysis. My knowledge of Python and predictive analysis has gone from strength to strength throughout this course. Now I can say I'm doing my trading with better analysis and with a minimum loss. This certification not alone improved my resume, it also gave me a cutting edge from other candidates. I think it doesn't matter where you come from, what your education background is, or what your fears are, as long as you're headed in your right direction. I always believe there should never be an ending to learning.
All right, so you heard from one learner. Here's another learner's experience, and I'll just leave this up for a second in case you want to take a look at some of the highlights. But this gives you an idea of how the program expands your skills, gets you into a new area, takes you from a background. Rasfar talked about being an aviation engineer, his background. Sahaj here had no data science or coding experience, so this is really an illustration of how you can come in from any background, succeed in this program. Based on everything that Amitendra shared with you and that I shared with you so far, are you interested in enrolling in this program? I'll leave this open for just about another 15 seconds because it's a yes or no question. Please get your answers in. And close the question in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just under 90% of the folks in our audience today are interested in enrolling, which is fantastic. I will now share with you the enrollment steps. So first thing to do is to email us at askus@simplilearn.net. I'm going to put that email address into the chat box for everyone. What that will do is put you in touch with a learning consultant who will be able to take you through the application process. The main part of the application process is verifying your academic background, to verify that you have the required bachelor's degree. And there may be a small assessment test to talk about how your aptitude for this area. Give me a moment. I'm going to be kicked off Zoom for a second. There's a little technical glitch. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Zoom does that occasionally. I will go back to the presentation here. So as I mentioned, you will go through this process. There may be an assessment test of your skills and aptitude, but that's not a factor in filtering you out. It just want to make sure that you have the ability and the commitment to complete the program successfully. And the next induction start on the 18th of April. The classes start right after that on the 22nd of April. So we ask you to get started quickly. And I'll tell you why in a second. The price for the program US is $2,999, which can be financed over time at $264 a month in equal installments. In India, the price is 1,84,999 rupee, which can be financed at 6141 equal monthly installments. And the reason we say act now is the cohort sizes are limited because this relies on live instructor training. The class sizes can't be more than 25 to 30 people for the instructors to be able to give attention to each learner. And so if you want to get into this batch, you want to get your place reserved right away. I'm going to ask that question now. And the question is, how soon would you like to be enrolled in this program? Is this something you'd like to do for that April batch? Is it something you want to do maybe in May or June, or something farther down the road? We always say, of course, that if it's something that's going to improve your life and your career, it's always worth doing sooner than later. I will close the poll in 3 seconds. Get your answers in. 2, 1, and here's the result. 50% of our audience wants to get involved either in April or perhaps May, June. And for those of you who are looking further down the road, do contact us at askus@simplylearn.net, and we will keep you informed about future batches of the program, future cohorts. We'll also be able to answer any questions you may have about the program. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take questions for Amitendra and me. And let me go to our Q&A. We have quite a few questions in our Q&A. Just momentarily here, hold on. There we go. My webcam sometimes gets in the way of me seeing things. Apologize for those of you who have asked us to explain in the Hindi language. We do everything in our instructions and our webinars in English for the broadest possible audience. So I apologize for that. But we have a question. Can data analytics help in the startup world? Amitendra, what would you say to that?
Startup these days have understood that how important the value of data is. So a startup basically, when they have to make a lot of decision day in, day out, which will require probably investing money in some opportunity or probably hiring somebody. So they want to make sure that every penny that they are investing is worth, and that's where some research based on the data comes into the picture. That's one part. Second could be that probably they want to come up with a better product, better services. So again, understanding what people are looking and how they can solve a problem will be very important, and that's where data analytics is coming into the picture.
Okay. We have a question from Kieran who asks, what is the difference between the data analytics role and the data scientist role?
Okay, so data analytics, if you talk about in general, is a branch of data science which is looking to solve very specific problems. Data science, on the other hand, is a more broader umbrella term that we use, where we talk about in general that what all is happening in the data. Let's find out, and then let's see how it can be mapped to a business problem, or probably how it can be used in the business decisions. On the other hand, data analytics is more of a very specific problem we are solving, like probably we have a very high attrition rate in the company, and we want to understand what could be the factors. So data analytics is coming into the picture. So the core will remain same. The requirement, in a sense, that basics of analysis should be understood, should be learned, like some statistical models, some basics of statistics, some inferential statistics has to be learned, and you should know some programming tools as well. So that core will remain same whether you're moving to data analyst or data scientist role. But data scientist will become more broader role. You have to have understanding of not only from algorithm perspective, but also from on a broad level how stakeholders are actually coming into the picture. So all that you have to understand.
Thank you. Are the classes daily, or what's the class schedule for the live instruction?
This would be on a weekly basis. Over the weekend, it would be conducted. So every weekend, 4 hours Saturday, 4 hours Sunday, you have to dedicate. And generally what happens, 2 days on the weekend, we train, and then we give some exercises which you can learn, which you can do over the weekdays. That's how it goes.
Okay. Yeah. And I should note that you should plan ahead to have your weekends available for this program. If you miss a class, it will be recorded and you can catch up on it, but there will be requirements in each of the courses for how many of the live classes you must attend. So always plan ahead. We recognize that you can't have every single weekend available for instruction, but you should probably come into the program thinking kind of along those lines. We had a question, an anonymous question, data access and transfer. Can you talk about some of the issues in access to and transfer of data? And I don't know if they meant in general or in specific relationship to this program. But if you could talk first about how people access the data that they use in the exercises, and then kind of more a little bit broader.
if you're talking from our LMS perspective, then the data sets are available on the LMS, and that is shared. And those data sets are very, very vast, and they have huge reach in terms of industry and verticals. And for every course, there will be different set of data set that will be provided to you, so that you get hands-on on different kind of problem and also different kind of data.
Okay.